Now we're going to go back a little bit, and I'm just going to call it memories, so it's going to be just a hodgepodge of stuff. Anyway, Bob and Jean and I played a lot together when we were little, preschool. And I'd go down there, or they'd be up there. Bob and Jean had gotten quite a few fights, and I can remember sitting on the ground and just sitting there and watching them fight. Well, if George saw them, he would stop it, and he would always say, "Go get a stick." And they would get spanked. And I thought they got way, way, way too many spankings. Another thing, Frances, if she saw I'm playing in the cattle tank, why, she'd yell at him and she'd say, "Get away from that tank, you're going to fall in and drown." And Jean told me years later, when he was in the Coast Guard and he had to learn to swim, he said he never would be a strong swimmer because every time he got near the water, he could hear his mom yelling, "Get away from that water, you're going to drown." Well, anyway, we did. The three of us played a lot together and got along really well. And we played a lot in George's garage. I don't know what we done. We didn't have many toys, a wagon maybe, but we played together. Well, in this garage, there was a ladder that went from the floor to the ceiling, and these steps weren't very far apart. Now, I don't remember really crawling up there, but I guess we did. And we played up there, and there was this, I don't know whether you'd call it an attic, or whether it was just boards laid across, whatever those boards anyway, to make a place they could do storage. And evidently we did this more than once. And underneath this place was, at one end, was an iron bed, and it had a mattress on it. And this is where the harvest hands slept. Well, I'm sure this wasn't the first time, but anyway, all three of us would jump from up there, and it was pretty high. And we jumped down on this bed. Well, like I say, I'm sure we'd done it before. But anyway, just after all three of us had made our jump, George walked in, and we knew we were in trouble. Now, I don't know whether he saw us jump or whether he just saw us jumping on the bed. But anyway, his famous words, "Go get a stick." Well, when he said that, I knew that I wasn't sticking around. And I don't know how I got down to George's, whether Marguerite walked me down there or Mother took me or what. But anyway, I ran home. And I can remember running home because I wasn't staying around. And going home, I can remember thinking, I'm not going to tell the folks. Well, when I got home, evidently it was earlier than Mother thought I'd be there, and she said, "How come you're so home?" And I can hear her saying this, "How come you're home so early?" So I thought, well, I better tell her. So I did. And I didn't get a spanking, but I sure did get a talking to. And, of course, the boys, they got spanked. Another thing the three of us did, why, we played in the dirt a lot. We each had spoons, and we dig this dirt, and I guess made tracks or so on. I don't know what we done. But anyway, there was a red anthill right out there, and it was by this granary too. And we'd stop, and I can remember that we would stand at time and watch these ants go in and out. And one day I was down there, and we was really wondering where these ants went. Well, we decided we'd find out. So I can remember kneeling by the side of the anthill, Bob and I, and one good thing we did, we wouldn't let Gene do it. We wouldn't let him dig. There wasn't room around that anthill. And now I can't remember any bites or any stings or anything, but evidently we really had them. And whether we went in the house or Frances seen us, I don't know. But anyhow, she called she knew that Granddad was going to Canarita that day, and she called Grandma, and she said, and I guess told her what had happened, and to see if she could catch Granddad in town. And at that time there was a drugstore in Canarita, and maybe he could get something for these bites. So evidently we must have had him pretty bad. And Grandma called Jake Riley, who had a telephone office in his house, and she asked him if he'd go downtown, of course Canarita wasn't very long, to see if she could find Granddad and have him call home. Now I don't remember any of that, but evidently she did, and he called home, because the next thing I can remember is, I can't remember Granddad coming in. All I can remember is that they got a big bottle of bright red medicine, and it was liquid. And I can remember seeing that bottle. I can't remember being doctored with it or anything, but I can remember that red bottle that Granddad had brought home. Okay, the next thing, when we got to be, I don't know, I suppose 8 or 9 anyway, Bob and Jean and Ted and Betty and I would get in the tank up at home. And on these hot, sunny days, Mother would let us get in the tank. And we'd be in there quite a little while and swim and play in the water. So evidently Francis thought the boys were old enough that they wouldn't drown anymore. And I don't ever remember Marguerite getting in with us, so it was probably just our middle years, but we did this quite often. Okay, now the next part's going to kind of be things that you do once, or you remember once, or whatever. So I'll skip down to the time that Marguerite and I were going with the Rogers boys, and they came to pick us up, and I had, at Christmas time, to a dance or something, and I had tonsillitis, so I couldn't go. I had tonsillitis quite a bit, I think, growing up. But anyway, when she got home, Martin had sent me a bottle of Evening and Ferris perfume and a box of chocolate cherries. Them I did share. Marguerite, she got Floyd gave her a little cedar chest about the size of a shoebox, and so another fella gave her one, but I didn't care. I was surprised and thought it was great.